The holidays were always a special time for Mia. Christmas meant family, warmth, and love, the kind of love that held together through every storm, every hardship. Or at least that's what she had believed. This year, though, Christmas would reveal a truth that shattered her entire world. Mia had been dating Ethan for 3 years. He was the perfect boyfriend in every way, kind, thoughtful, funny, and deeply loved by her family. Her parents adored him, her friends envied their relationship, and Mia believed they were on the path toward a future together. They had even begun talking about moving in with one another after the holidays. To her, everything was falling perfectly into place. But Mia's world began to crack one afternoon in late November. It started with something small, something that could easily have been brushed aside, except Mia had learned to trust her gut. She was at Ethan's apartment, tidying up while he was in the shower. She hadn't planned on snooping. She wasn't the type to invade someone's privacy. But when his phone buzzed with a notification, a quick glance at the screen stopped her cold. The message preview read, "When are you coming over again?" Mia felt a twinge of confusion. The name on the screen wasn't familiar, and curiosity gnawed at her. She hesitated for a second before unlocking the phone, her heart pounding in her chest. She knew this was crossing a line, but something didn't sit right. As the message opened, her eyes immediately darted to the profile picture. It was Sophia, her cousin. The world seemed to tilt around her, a sickening realization washing over her like ice. Hands trembling, Mia scrolled through the previous messages. There were photos, nothing explicit, but enough to make her stomach churn. Meeting times. Places they had gone. Conversations they had clearly been having behind her back. Ethan and Sophia had been seeing each other, planning secret rendezvous right under her nose. Her heart raced as she pieced it all together. How long had this been going on? How could they betray her like this? Anger mixed with disbelief, and Mia knew there was no coming back from this. The shower in the other room turned off, snapping Mia out of her shock. Quickly, she placed the phone back down, careful not to leave any signs that she had seen the message. Her hands trembled as she hurriedly resumed tidying the apartment, her mind spinning in 1,000 directions. Ethan emerged from the bathroom moments later, smiling as though nothing had changed. And in that instant, Mia made a decision. She wasn't going to confront him, not yet. No, confronting him would only give him a chance to lie, to spin his way out of it. She wasn't even going to tell Sophia. Instead, Mia decided to play the long game. She would act as if nothing was wrong, as if she didn't know, all while planning her revenge. The annual family Christmas gathering was just weeks away. It was a sacred tradition, one that brought every member of the extended family together under one roof. Mia knew the perfect moment would come at that gathering. She'd had enough time to think it through, to make sure her plan was flawless. Christmas would no longer be about warmth and love. It would be the day she exposed the truth and tore apart the facade Ethan and Sophia had carefully built. In the days leading up to Christmas, Mia played the role of the loving girlfriend. She smiled, laughed, and pretended to be as in love with Ethan as ever. It wasn't easy. Every time he kissed her, she felt sick to her stomach. Every time he looked into her eyes, she wondered how he could lie so easily. But she kept her composure. She knew that the payoff would be worth it. Behind the scenes, Mia was methodical. She gathered evidence, screenshots of messages, a photo she secretly took of Ethan and Sophia meeting at a coffee shop, the pieces of a puzzle that would come together on Christmas Day. She confided in no one. Not her friends, not her siblings. She wanted no warnings, no advice on forgiveness. She was done forgiving. The tension grew in Mia's chest every day, especially when she saw Sophia at family events or received texts from her, pretending like everything was fine. Sophia had always been the golden child of the family, beautiful, intelligent, and charming. But Mia now saw her in a different light, as someone manipulative and deceitful, using that charm to worm her way into Ethan's life. Finally, Christmas Eve arrived. The family gathered at her grandparents' large house, just like they did every year. It was the picture of holiday warmth, lights twinkling on the tree, the smell of cinnamon and pine filling the air, laughter echoing through the halls. Mia arrived with Ethan, her hand in his, pretending that nothing was wrong. She was quiet on the car ride over, though Ethan didn't seem to notice. He was his usual charming self, making small talk about holiday plans and family gossip. When they entered the house, Sophia was already there, greeting everyone with her bright, innocent smile. Mia locked eyes with her, feeling a surge of anger pulse through her veins, but she kept her face neutral. She needed to wait for the right moment. It had to be perfect. The evening passed slowly, filled with holiday games, stories, and wine. Mia kept her distance from Sophia, but observed how often she exchanged glances with Ethan, how their phones buzzed quietly in their pockets throughout the night. The audacity of it made her blood boil. But she waited. She smiled when she needed to, participated in conversations, even faked a laugh at some of Ethan's jokes. All the while, her plan was in motion. Finally, Christmas morning arrived. It was time for the big family breakfast, another long-standing tradition. Everyone gathered around the enormous dining table, which was set with festive decor, the air thick with anticipation for the day ahead. It was at that table, surrounded by family, that Mia would take control of the narrative. As the family chatted and exchanged gifts, Mia waited for a lull in the conversation. And when it came, she seized the moment. "I have something I want to say," Mia began, her voice calm but clear. The room quieted as everyone turned to look at her, including Ethan, who smiled at her, completely unaware of what was coming. "I wasn't sure when the right time would be, but now feels right." She paused, feeling the weight of what she was about to do. "I've been holding on to something for a while, and it's time I share it with everyone." Ethan's smile faltered slightly, confusion flickering in his eyes. Sophia shifted uncomfortably in her seat, sensing that something wasn't right. Mia took a deep breath and continued. "Ethan and I have been together for 3 years, and I thought we were building something strong. But in the last month, I found out something that changed everything." She could see Ethan's face change, his confusion turning to worry. Sophia's eyes widened slightly, her smile faltering. Mia kept her gaze locked on both of them as she spoke. "Ethan has been cheating on me. And the person he's been cheating with? My cousin, Sophia." Gasps filled the room, her words slicing through the holiday cheer like a knife. Mia didn't flinch. She had rehearsed this moment over and over again in her mind, and now that it was happening, she felt a strange sense of calm. "I found out weeks ago," she said, her voice steady. "I've seen the messages. I've seen them meeting up. It's all real. And the reason I waited to tell you all this is because I wanted everyone to know the truth. I wanted it to come out here, in front of our family." The silence was deafening. Ethan looked like he had been slapped, his face pale, his eyes wide. Sophia sat frozen, her mouth slightly open, unable to respond. The rest of the family sat in stunned silence, processing the bombshell that had just been dropped. Mia reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. "Here," she said, scrolling through her messages. "I've got proof if anyone wants to see it." She tossed the phone onto the table, letting it land with a soft thud. No one moved to pick it up. Her father was the first to break the silence. "Mia, are you serious?" he asked, his voice low, disbelief written all over his face. Mia nodded. "Dead serious. Ethan and Sophia have been sneaking around behind my back for who knows how long." At that, Sophia finally found her voice. "Mia, wait, I can explain." "Explain what?" Mia cut her off sharply, her eyes flashing with anger. "Explain how you betrayed your cousin? Explain how you could lie to my face, act like nothing was wrong, all while sneaking around with my boyfriend?" Mia stood up, feeling the eyes of her family on her as she gathered her things. "I'm done. I've said what I needed to say. I hope you're both happy with the choices you've made." Without another word, she turned and walked out of the house, leaving Ethan, Sophia, and her stunned family behind. The cold winter air hit her as she stepped outside, but she felt lighter than she had in weeks. Her revenge wasn't about getting even. It was about reclaiming her power, about exposing the truth in the way they never expected. As she walked away, Mia didn't look back. She knew there was nothing left for her in that house. And for the first time in a long time, she felt free.